the map of South India, where three kingdoms were presented there in the Sangam age when I was teaching the Sangam age. Chola, Chera and Pandya. Okay. Now we are going to study separately about Cholas, the Chola age. This is the picture of a coin which was used during the Chola age. Okay, we discovered this coin and so many things related to the dynasty of India, especially the southern dynasty. These things are there in the museum out of the country also, like in Lebanon and other countries. So from there we also came to know about so many things about these dynasties. And why Indian museum are not having such types of dynasty in quantity, because these all things belong to India. Because when Britishers came, we were just like the slaves, we all know that. So they took all the things from here and they maintained their own records there. And one more show is comes on Discovery nowadays. It is related to these dynasties, archaeological sources के ऊपर. There is one show coming on Discovery Channel. नाम नहीं याद आ रहा, मैंने भी उसके 4-5 एपिसोड देखे हैं. When I'll get the time, but unfortunately I'm not getting the time. So wait a minute, I'm also opening my book. You all are with your book or not? Come on, open up your camera and show me your book.
We have the books.
Sorry, Arohi?
I have the book.
Ronak?
Ma'am, I also.
Ronak, reply, otherwise I will put a I will
ma'am.
mark absent. Open up your camera.
मैं बोल रहा था, ऑडियो बंद हो गया था.
Others, Aryan, Rishabh, Aviral, Suyash, Hardik. Good. All of you show me your book.
मैम मेरे में ओपनिंग नहीं हो पाता है.
Try to karo, Aviral. Just try it. Zaveri, show me your book. Show it. Now I'm doing it daily.
मैम अपने आप ऑफ हो जाता है.
Hardik, Suyash, Rishabh. Good, Zaveri. Very good. Good show. Nice. Aryan and Rishabh. Okay. Aryan. Suyash, Hardik.
Yes, ma'am. Just a second.
Praveen. He is in the class. Om Prakash Gupta. So Yash, come on, show me your book. Okay, good. So open the chapter. Hardik.
Yes, ma'am.
Show me your book, beta. What are you doing? Don't waste time.
Just
I don't know what this boy used to do. And Ronak, why Soransh is not joining the classes?
I'm not knowing. I'm Puchu.
Not this time, after the class.
Okay.
When he will not join the class, na, the concept will not clear in his mind. Hardik, how much time will you take, beta? Okay, I will not mark him present. So in this chapter, we are going to cover two topics: inscription of the Chola Empire and Brihadishvara Temple. Okay. two archaeological sources are there, inscriptions and Brihadeshwara temple. What about inscriptions that we found about the Chola Empire? Actually, a large number of Tamil and Sanskrit inscriptions are found in the Chola period, and these inscriptions are giving knowledge about and information about this period. Inscriptions are written on pillars with a copper plate and stone. The significance of these inscriptions is as follows. Number one, give information about the information of king's kingdom and conscripts war. How the king used to rule at that time, how they do the wars and how many types of wars were there. See the picture of an inscription. Like this, they used to write down the inscription, and from that time it is not now, till now it is with us. Okay. Hundred of inscriptions both in Tamil and Sanskrit languages has been discovered, and being engraved on stone or a metal, they could not be tampered with. Therefore, as piece of historical evidence, they are more trustworthy than other written work. So some inscriptions supply dates, refer to the conscript of the king, extent of their kingdom. Clear? Few copper plate inscriptions are preserved in Museum of Leiden in Netherlands also. They record gift of land to temple by the Chola king. The inscription which is there in Netherlands, it has the information about the king, that when the king used to gift a piece of a land to the temple, उसका description दिया हुआ है in that types of pillars. And the Brihadeshwara temple inscription give measurement of land gifted to the temple. A few copper plate inscription preserved in the museum, ये मैंने अभी आपको बताया. These gifts were called as legend grant. It is also described the ornament worn by deities, the deities which were there in the temple at that time. They used to wear some ornaments. So those ornaments are described in the pillars and in the Brihadeshwara temple also. It also gives information about religious and cultural history. It also tells us about Chola administration. Uttar Merur inscription described the king did a survey and classification of all type of land and took land revenue taxes, which was his chief source of income. So actually these pillars are giving about the information related to especially the administrative part of the Chola Empire. How the king rule, how they work. Okay, the main thing is this. And about the religious thought, a little bit about the culture also. Okay, so these inscriptions used to tell about all these things. First one was inscription, second is Brihadeshwara temple. It is also known as Raja Rajeshwara temple. Okay, the second name of Brihadeshwara temple is Raja Rajeshwara temple. Actually, in South India, the name is always like this: Raja Rajeshwara, Raja Raja. Whenever you used to visit there, na, so you will see ka unka name Rajaon ka, it is like that. It was built by Raja Raja I. See, Raja Raja I is coming here. They मतलब twice or thrice वो राजा लगा देते थे. In the 10th century at Thanjavur, it's a Shiv temple with huge tower, shikara, height 180 feet, weight 80 tons. काफी बड़ा ये टेम्पल है and it is also having a tower, जिसको हम शिकारा भी कहते हैं. Shiva Lingam is 9 meters high. Two huge Dwarpalas are seen at the outer gateway. outer gateway पे दो द्वारपालास हैं, like द्वारपालास means like a door type of a structure is there. There are many other sculptures of other deities seen. Only the main deities were not there, like Parvati and Lakshmi. Other deities were also presented there in these temples. This is the picture of the temple. Such a huge temple, you can see that. Actually, so many temples were built in this time. They cut the hills and built the temple. The beautiful temples are presented there. But according to the syllabus, this temple is important. That's why I'm just showing the picture of this temple and explaining this temple. It also has a Nandi in front of the temple. What is Nandi? Can you please tell me, anyone from class 9?
Ma'am, cow.
Ma'am, that's it.
Whose cow?
Ma'am, sorry, ma'am, bull. Of
Bull.
Shiv.
Yes, Shiv Ji ka bull. It is known as Nandi. So in front of the temple, when you used to enter in the temple, you will find the sculpture of the Nandi there also. It is built. Who is there now again? Now Soransh is joining so late. It is built in Dravidian style of agriculture, architecture. Dravidians means Dravid. Okay. In its vastness, design, sculpture, and allied art. Actually, every building have its own architectural way. South Indian, North Indian, Easterns, Westerns, Mughals, or Britishers. Okay, Greek, Egyptian, सबका अपना style होता है. Whenever they used to build a building, okay. So the temple which is there during the Chola Empire, it was built in Dravidian style. Mahamandapa of this temple was originally three-story. Sorry. इस टाइम पर जो आपका एक टेम्पल है महामंडपा, ये 3-story टेम्पल है. 3 इसमें लेयर्स हैं, स्टोरीज हैं. Many Tamil and Sanskrit inscription are also seen here. There is also a Mam temple seen here, which is dedicated to Brihanakya, wife of Brihadeshwara. Brihadeshwara की जो wife है Brihanakya की. So that temple is also there. The temple has been declared as World Heritage Site by UNESCO. Now I'm going to show you a small video related to the Chola Empire. They will tell you in this video, you will come to know about the name of the king. Yes, beta?
Ma'am, I wanted to ask that when this administration of the Cholas.
No, nothing is coming.
And this all is not.
Listen, beta, when I got the mail from the council, that time I informed you all the deducted part of the syllabus in a class. When I was taking the
Ma'am,
online
is
class.
anything extra deducted from the chapters which you have told us earlier?
Only the topic which I am teaching in PPT, and especially I used to describe the topic in starting even on the second or third page of the PPT topics that we have to cover in this chapter. Only this much is coming. Uske alawa nothing is coming. I am teaching the only the part which is remain there after the deduction of the syllabus. Okay, I know it's such a big chapter. It has the administrative powers also, description and temples, and there are so many things were there. But these parts are not coming. Only the temple and the inscription. Clear? Only this much is coming. So only you have to learn this much, not more than that. Clear? Class 9th?
Yes, ma'am.
If you want, na, so I will again repeat the deducted part. Kisi class mein, because the syllabus is there in your book in the starting before index. So I can tell you that how much part is deducted from the chapter. So no need to touch all those part. Clear? Jitta main padha rahi hu, just learn that thing, that much. not more than that. Oh, वैसे भी in history, civics and geography, the syllabus is very lengthy. That's why I'm begging, I've begged principal ma'am to give me one more period, and I've got it on Saturday. In which period you have English on Saturday?
Ma'am, third period.
You have English in third period.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, no issue. I will teach this history or geography in third period on Saturday then. Clear? So can you see the video on your screen? The openbook.in?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now you can hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Good.
ma'am.
So here is the video. It's such a small video.
The Chola dynasty. Three major dynasties ruled the south, namely the Cheras, Pandyas, and the Cholas. Among the better known kings who ruled South India, the Chola dynasty is perhaps the most famous. It was one of the longest ruling dynasties in South India. The extent of their territory as given to us by historians is India, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, and Indonesia.
Actually, when if it was in a course, but this year it is not there. When I was teaching this chapter last year, this dynasty is also famous for its overseas ruling. Overseas ruling means they cross the sea, then gain the victory on the countries which are across the sea, and they were ruling on those countries also. So you can see this in this map also. But now it's not there in the syllabus. But you have to know about the basic of the Chola dynasty.
Their area of governance was the fertile plains of the river Kaveri, or Kaveri as it is known. It is said that they managed to unite the entire southern areas south of the river Tungabhadra and held sway for a period of 2 centuries and more. Having their capital at Tanjore, the Chola kings are attributed with good governance and building of many architecture.
How many of you have visited the South India? Have you ever seen these types of temples? Anyone, classmate? कोई गया है कभी South India?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
If you get a chance, na go. Actually, India is itna beautiful and no need to go outside. I have visited so many places in South India, and temples are really very beautiful. The work of the people at that time is incredible, very nice. Because that time they were not having that type of a crane and technology, but still they have done such a nice work there. So you can see such a beautiful temple it is.
Marvels. The numerous temples that we see in the present-day Tanjore are all gifts of those kings. Being deeply religious, they built temples for all deities. The Brigadishwara temple at Tanjore, which does not ever have its shadow fall on the ground, is one such marvel and was built by Raja Raja, who was one of the famous kings of this time. At a time when temples of only one level were built, Raja Raja built one with 15 stories and had inscriptions created on it. Some of the deities were carved out of a single rock. They had a good navy and maintained overseas relations as well. They were very learned themselves and were great patrons of art and literature. Tamil, the official language, gained great prominence during their time. They would hold literary conferences, and Tamil Pandits would be honored. The best artisans were always in their court to create the temples they visualized. In the south of India, the Chola period is considered as the golden period.
So all about this Chola Empire, such a small chapter, and we have completed this chapter. So if you want to ask any query, any question, class 9, कोई ऐसा टॉपिक हो जो आपको समझ में ना आया हो, from the Sangam age and as well as from the Chola Empire. What happened? Class 9, you are sleeping kya? I'm not getting response. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
So why I'm not getting response? It means that both of the chapters are clear in your mind.
Political history and administration is not coming.
Yes, but it is not coming.
Okay.
Today we have to discuss the worksheet of which chapter? Gupta is, na? So this chapter is completed now and I'm not getting any query from your side. It means this chapter is clear in your mind. And after discussing this worksheet, now then we will discuss something about the map work also of geography. Okay. So question number 1, explain the literary account of Fahim. Actually, you have to describe Fahim. Who was he? From here he came. Okay. Then what did he do? Kahan raha, kahan gaya, all the things. Okay, and what he write about the culture of India, Indian history. You have to describe his work here. Next question is, what significance do the Allahabad pillar inscription have? It is having the inscription related with Samundragupta. So you have to write down the description which is there on the Allahabad pillar, and this answer should be in a long form. Actually, these answers they are not a short answers; they are long answers. So you have to describe it nicely, because it will come for 4 to 3 marks. So it doesn't mean that you have to write only 3-4 lines. You have to describe it nicely, and it is there in PPT also, as well it is there in your book also. Clear? Next is the under whose patronage did the with reference to Nalanda University, answer the following question. Under whose patronage did the university developed into a famous center of learning? Who was there? Name the kingdom, name the king. Okay. Give 3 of its special features of this Nalanda University. 3 special features of Nalanda University. Who destroyed this university? Who destroyed this university, class 9?
Ma'am Khilji.
Khilji, yes. And he really did such a bad job. पूरी बिल्कुल ruin करके रख दी थी. Clear? So this worksheet definitely I'm going to share, and you have to complete all the work in your notebook. And before the half-yearly exam, because you know that half-yearly exam are starting from 25th of September, and before this half-yearly exam, you all have to give me the scanned PDF of the completed work of geography as well as history civics. समझ में आ रहा है? I want your work should be completed in your notebook, and if you will give me the complete work PDF, scanned PDF on my personal number, then I will give you internal marks. Otherwise, I will give you just 0.
Ma'am, work which means the worksheet only, na, which you get, which you are.
Yes, you have to do just worksheet in your notebook. And this is the first worksheet. When I will complete the syllabus, I will give you the second worksheet of each and every chapter also. It will contain different types of questions. And one thing more, don't make sure that when the exam, when the question paper will come, the questions will come only from the worksheet. It can come from the back of the book also. It can come from another book also, because I have so many books of history civics of class 9th of Loreto and Lamartine also. Clear? So I can get the questions from there also. But listen one thing, I am covering each and every. Zamir is now coming. This Arshiana is coming at 9. Because in worksheet 1, I am covering each and every topic of the syllabus. So I can give any type of question related to the chapter which is in the syllabus, not out of the syllabus. Is it clear, class 9?
Yes.
Ma'am,
Yes.
Ma'am, that you have to share this worksheet of
Yes, ask.
Sangam
Who was
J.
asking?
Gupta. Ma'am.
Now I'm audible, class 9?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Yes, beta.
and I wanted to say that you have not shared the worksheet of Sangam J. Gupta and South
Yes, ma'am.
Indian.
I remember it, beta, but today definitely I'm sharing it. Because continuously I'm having the period now, so I was involved. And yesterday was 1st of September, I have to complete the register and so many work was there. That's why I forgot. I'm sorry for that. Today positively I will share it. The worksheets, the PPT, each and everything you will get today. Till the Chola Empire. Okay, I will share it. So this chapter is completed and now we are going to discuss. Okay, wait a minute. Now I will show you the worksheet of class 6, that the Vedic age. It is just a revision of that chapter. Wait a minute. So what do you want? You want to revise the Vedic age or should we work on a map? Class 9?
Ma'am, I think you should revise.
Class 9, tell me.
Yes, ma'am.
You want to revise the Vedic age or should we start the map work?
Ma'am, we want to revise.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see the PPT on your screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. Actually, this PPT is important for class 9th as well as for class 6 also because the chapters are same. So the topic that I'm covering in this PPT, here it is. So I'm going to show you the video because with the help of this video, now you can easily revise the chapter. Wait a minute. What happened with my laptop? There is something wrong. God. Sorry, student, there is something wrong with my laptop now. It's got hang. Not working. So we will just see these parts. Okay. The period when Aryan first settled in India is known as early Vedic period. Actually, it is divided into two parts: early Vedic period and later Vedic period. The time period is mentioned there. Between 1500 to 1000 BC, it was early Vedic period, and between 1000 to 500 BC, it is later Vedic period. The sources which tell us about the Vedic age are literary and archaeological. In literary sources, we have Vedas and epic. Vedas, the 4 Vedas are there, and in epic, we have Mahabharata and Ramayana. Archaeological sources, iron and pottery, whatever we get from the archaeological sites. Okay, here we have the literary sources. These literary sources are written in Sanskrit, and the word Veda is derived from the Sanskrit word Vid. Okay, and these Vedas are divided into two parts, Shruti and Smriti. Shruti means the word which is given by gods to sagas. जो God ने words दिए थे, and Smriti was composed by rishis. Okay, 4 Vedas: Rig, Sam, Yajur, and Athar Ved. Next is the Brahmas, attend to each Samhita, and Arankas and Upanishads were there. About a description about the Veda, we got Gayatri month from the Rig Veda. Actually, the Rig Veda is having all the religious teaching about the man, the human being, and it will also contain the hymns, which is directly dedicated to God. That's why the Gayatri month is also there in the Rig Veda. Samved is having the sweet song, like type of a hymns, which used to sung by the priest during the time of a sacrifices yajna. Yajurveda, it deals with rituals and hymns recited during performing yajnas. And then comes the Athar Veda. Epics, it's not there in your syllabus. Now come the archaeological sources. Iron, it was the time when the iron discovered, and in 1000 BC the iron age also began in India. And because of the discovery of the iron, the people were able to make the different types of tools which can help them to do the agricultural work. That's why our agriculture was also developing during this age. Next is occupation. People used to trade, spinning, carpentry, tanning, and tool making thing, because with the help of this iron tools they can make all the things. Defense, iron is used to make the defense weapons also, like sword, arms, shields, and slings. Pottery, there were 2 types of pottery, mainly graveware pottery, simple मिट्टी की जो बनी pottery होती थी, and the second is the painted graveware. And at the end they were having the northern black polished ware, black color की जो मिट्टी की pottery होती है, and that pottery was especially used by the ruling family. जो ruling family होती थी वही use करते थे उसको. Next, a comparative study of early and later Vedic society. In early Vedic society, joint family system was not there. In later Vedic society, it was there. In early Vedic society, women enjoyed equal status. In later Vedic society, it reduced. Rigid caste system was not seen in early Vedic society, but rigid caste system was there in the later Vedic society. Gurukul system of education was seen there, but the Gurukul got developed during the later Vedic society. Okay, now comes the comparative study of early and later Vedic economy. Very important point, because in this PPT, I have just compared each and every point of early Vedic and the later Vedic. So the student can easily understand what was the difference between the 2 ages. Both are the Vedic age. But why we are dividing these age into 2 forms, early and later? Am I audible, class 9th?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Again, something happened with. Okay, so in early Vedic economy, domestication was the priority. It was the primary occupation, and secondary was agriculture. In later Vedic, agriculture was the primary occupation, and domestication of animals was the secondary occupation. Number two, cattle was the source of wealth during the early Vedic economy. If you are having lots of cattle, like cow, goat, sheep, whatever the cattle were presented at that time, bulls, it means you are very wealthy. But in the later Vedic economy, if you are having lots of land for agriculture, then you are wealthy. Many were engaged in trade and commerce during the early Vedic economy. And in the later Vedic economy, traders guild had formed, and with use of coin, because coin system was also introduced during the later Vedic age. That's why the trade and commerce became more easier, because in the early Vedic economy, when you want something very precious, तो वहाँ पे आपको गाय देनी पड़ती थी, cow, you have to give the cow. But because the coin was introduced during the later Vedic period, the trade became more easy. In early Vedic economy, the occupation was only pottery, crafting, gold and silver, etc. But in later Vedic economy, in beside of these occupation, physician, musician were also introduced during this time. Here we have the caste system of the Vedic society: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. Now we will talk about the family system. In the early Vedic age, family was the basic unit. Joint family system was seen but very rare. Rig Vedic society was Pariyachal. It means they can have more than one wife. Grahapati was the head of the family. ठीक है, comes the position of the women. It's very important point. If you talk about the early Vedic age, women were treated equal with men. They were allowed to participate in the religious function in the gathering. They were allowed to do the sacrifices with their husband. They were allowed to gain education, and they can live in gurukuls also. They were having the freedom to choose their husband. Monogamy and polygamy was very, very famous at that time, actually, to keep one or more than one wife. And widows were allowed to do remarriage. Child marriage, sati and parda pratha was not presented during the early Vedic period. And there were some women scholars during the early Vedic period who also composed some hymns. Okay. Now we will come on the later Vedic age. The status of the women was reduced, and they were not allowed to participate in the religious function. Okay, only very few women which were the part of the ruling family, they were allowed only. And only the women which were allowed, which were from the ruling family, few women were allowed to gain education, others were not allowed. Widows remarriage was not allowed during the later Vedic age. It was allowed in the early Vedic age. Polygamy was more common, especially in higher section of the society. एक से ज़्यादा wife रखना, ज़्यादा शादियाँ करना, ये बहुत ज़्यादा popular हो चुका था later Vedic age में, especially in the higher society. Actually, this discouraged the prestige of the women also. Next come the fold Varna caste system. Actually, 1 minute. Okay, it's 9:15, so I'm going to take the attendance. If we'll get the time, then I will explain this chapter again, and I surely I will share the PPT. Okay, class 9. Arshian is present. Aryan, Aviral, Hardik, Praveen, Ronak, Rishabh, Suyash, Swaransh bhi later, Vivek is there. Arohi, Zaveri, Shubha, all are present. Very good. Okay, class 9th. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
So we
ma'am.
will meet on Saturday in third period, and we will start a new chapter in history. Which chapter? Let me tell you the name, the Delhi Sultanate. Very nice chapter. And I will also introduce Vikramjit Singh when I will teach this chapter. And you can watch our poem. एक काम करना, it's your homework now. I will mention it in on homework also. Please go to the YouTube or on a Facebook. Vikramjit Singh, a Punjabi man is there. उनकी एक बहुत ही फेमस पोएम है दास्ताने दिल्ली. Okay, because I have also attended a workshop from him. वो दास्ताने दिल्ली पोएम आप एक बार सुन लेना जो उन्होंने पढ़ी है. तो if you will hear that poem ना दास्ताने दिल्ली, तो ये चैप्टर इतने आराम से समझ में आएगा और इतना अच्छा समझ में आएगा कि आपको लर्न हो जाएगा ये चैप्टर. ओके, प्लीज गो थ्रू दास्ताने दिल्ली ऑफ विक्रमजीत सिंह.
मैम आपने पहले भी एक बार कहा था.
हाँ, मैंने पहले भी बोला था. सच नाइस, मैंने सुना है. मैं शेयर करती हूँ लिंक भी उसका तुमको व्हाट्सएप पे. ओके, प्लीज गो थ्रू दास्ताने दिल्ली. ओके, स्टे सेफ, पॉजिटिवली. वी आर गोइंग टू मीट ऑन सैटरडे अगेन. गुड.